just a quick note before I start the review against Leeds United game today. I am going to be doing, I've had a few comments in the videos that I've made about doing a roundup of the week's news on at the end of the week. So I'm going to be doing that on a Saturday. Hopefully this week will be the first one if I can get it all together in time. And it's going to have a roundup of all the news for anyone who may have missed it during the week. But there's going to be a little twist to it as well. So anything that I've found out since that video was made, I'm going to be including in the weekly roundup. So any up-to-date news from any of those videos is going to be included in the weekly roundup. So it's going to be slightly different than just rehashing the same news during the week. So if you want to see that, don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell for notifications so that you don't miss that on a Saturday. Now it's time for the review. Welcome. This video is going to be all about the game between Crystal Palace and Leeds United in Australia, the last friendly before they come back to the UK. And I have to say, it was a game that was a little bit bitty, a little bit, you know, kind of stop and start. And I don't think either team really got into their stride. But let's look a bit further into the game. So Leeds started really well. They pressed us really hard. And as we've seen in games last season, when teams press us really hard, it tends to make it a little bit difficult for us to get into our passing rhythm and play out for the back and all those things that we like to do under Patrick Vieira. So in the first half in particular, Leeds were really pressing really hard, made it difficult for us to get passes together and to go forward. And we were a little bit sloppy early on. You know, there were passes going wayward, and every time we got the ball, we were being challenged by at least one, maybe two players at a time. And it made for a very frustrating first half, and you could see the frustration at some points in some of the players, including, or especially, Jordan Ayew, who had a couple of confrontations with a couple of players during the game. He wasn't happy that he was getting fouled quite a lot, and of course nobody would be, but he seemed to be targeted quite particularly. Whenever he got the ball, they were challenging really hard, and you could see that he was getting quite frustrated. So the challenges were really hard, especially by Leeds United, and I don't think that helped the situation. It certainly didn't seem like friendly from their point of view. But Ayew, apart from that, Ayew was playing well. You know, he was trying to link up, trying to get play involved, trying to get players involved and taking on players. So he actually had quite a good game, I thought. And indeed, you know, we seemed to defend set pieces really well, which I think which pleased me, because the other games we haven't really been that good at defending set pieces, but we were a lot better in this game. A couple of times when we went to sleep at the back, but in general we were getting to the ball first and we were getting it out of danger. So I thought that was quite a positive note to start the game with, start the first half. I think Leeds in the first half had more time in our third than we had in theirs, which was a little bit just frustrating. But again, most of that was because they were trying to break up our play, which they were managing to do most of the time. So, and again, you know, we didn't seem to be pushing us forward as much as they were in the first half. But it was a hard-fought first half, but a little bit unfocused from us, really. And I didn't see in the first half any particular player standing out. I mean, Ayew was playing well, Mateta was trying to get into the box and play well, but in general I didn't really see any particular Palace players standing out for me in the first half. Second half started with no changes to our team, but we kind of had a bit more impetus. You know, Leeds seemed to drop off a little bit in the second half and weren't quite pushing us quite as hard. And that allowed us to get into the game a bit more, and I thought that we played quite well in the second half. And on 54 minutes, however, Joel Ward apparently gave away a penalty to Leeds. I think it was a soft penalty. Yes, he had his hand on his back, but I think the player went down. He was looking for it, and the referee was very litigious in this game. He was flying yellow cards left, right and centre. And yes, it was a physical game, but it was also a friendly, so I think he was a little bit too officious with his dealing out of cards and free kicks. And he did award the penalty, which was converted by Rodrigo, who sent Gaeta the wrong way. So that was a disappointment. However, you know, I don't think it was necessarily a penalty. I think certainly in the Premier League, I don't think that necessarily would have been given. But you know, it was one of those things. At that point, Palace weren't really making much of an impact on the game. However, 64 minutes, Ebiowi came on for Ozil, and I like the look of Ebiori. He's played well in the first couple of games, and he played well in this game as well. I thought that he challenged, he was running around, he was trying to get the ball, he was putting in some very nice little passes. I thought that he played really well actually, and I think he also did some very good set pieces. There were lovely little floating balls into the box that he managed to get in and almost create a couple of chances for us. There's one particular chance later on, which I'm going to talk about, that he did well with. So I was pleased with Elbiori. I think he had a good game. There was a chance by Leeds which was touched away by Gaeta, and he made a couple of good saves. He wasn't called upon a huge amount, but he did make some good saves, which was good to see. Obviously, Jack Butland is out for about 8 weeks with a broken finger after the save he made against Manchester United. So that's difficult, but obviously we carry on and keep pushing, as it says. So after that, Mateta on 66 minutes managed to get us a goal back. It was a great goal. AU was going forward, he was running at players, which is something that he's done a lot, and he was doing really well in the second half. Squared it across to Mateta, who had an easy tap in, and we managed to catch Leeds off their guard for the first time, I think, in that game, or at least one of the few times we managed to do it in the game. So that was a great goal for us, and AU certainly connected up well with Mateta for that game. Biori around that time had a great free kick as well, and was putting the ball into the box quite well. I think he's going to be one of our main free kick takers if he gets regular play, that's for certain. Then around 79 minutes, Edouard went off and Phillips came on, and I think he had a good game as well. I mean, he didn't have a huge amount of time to do anything, but I think he played quite well and was able to influence himself into the game quite a lot. So I was pleased with his performance as well. And then around 82 minutes, AU went off and Teo Ademola came on, who again I thought worked quite well. I think he was very energetic and tried to get involved in the game quite a bit and was playing well as well. So I think overall the second half was a lot better than the first half. I think we were a lot more, I think Leeds stepped off a little bit, but we were a bit more impactful going forward, and I think we had a good game overall. I think it was just a little bit sloppy, a little bit hard fought, but certainly not that bad. So ending up 1-1 I think wasn't that bad. I think we could we had a couple of chances that could have made it 2-1. One particular chance was a good cross by Ebiori that was headed by Tarek Mitchell, but he headed it too far down and it bounced up into the keeper, so that was a shame. It was one of those chances that was almost guaranteed to score. I don't know how he didn't, but yeah, so that was a good chance. So it could have been 2-1 at the end of the day, but I thought that we played actually quite well. So anyway, let me know thoughts. If you saw the game, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you thought of the game if you saw it. If you didn't see it, then hopefully this has given you some idea of how it went and how the players are progressing. But now they're going to be coming home, and tomorrow we've got the UK arm of the squad playing QPR, and I'm going to be doing my review of that as well. So don't forget to subscribe and do all the good stuff, clicking the bell and getting notifications for that game tomorrow.